why people didn't last on this path. So you got three types of people: the people who try, then they do it; then the people who try, then they stop; the people who barely try, then they stop; then they go kind of halfway, and then like, you know what? Those are three types of people. Like, you even see people who were so close. The second option, the people who tried and they stopped. It was so close. Then something just happens. You know, like, I say the people who try. Like, secondly, like the second option, how, like I said, like the people who tried, they do it, they understand, and they go, they continue. The people who kind of understand, they go for a little bit and they stop. The people who little tiny bit kind of like do it, and they just like, you know what, I'm not doing it anymore. The reason why the second option of people who go far then they stop is because they kind of realize that, like, it's just, they just stop, they just give up, you know. They're just not, you know, they're not going to go forward with it. They're just, something in them just does not do it. And you got the people like who kind of tried and they stop because they either have bad habits or influences, or like all of the above, or like they kind of realize, oh shoot, I'm not really like built for this, or something just hits them early, like, you know what, I'm just not gonna do this, or something, or they learn something dark or something just crazy about the thing that they're doing, or whatever, or something that just, you know, got in their ear. Now they just, you know what, I'm just not gonna do it. I tried a little bit, I put my thumb in the water, you know, I'm just not gonna swim in the water. Like, it's just not safe. They're just not gonna do it. So it's usually for the same reasons why people stop, like just developing, becoming the best selves, and just, you know, rising above this stuff mentally, you know, walking the spiritual path, reflecting, you know what I'm saying, reading yourself, you know, understanding yourself, and just going and merging with the oneness, and just, you know, walking the path, you know, taking care of yourself. I'm not saying this stuff is like perfect and all that, because it's far too perfect too. You know, it's like throughout time, you know what I'm saying? It's gradual, you know what I'm saying? Slow, gradual thing. You know, you're building the steps. You know what I'm saying? The building blocks of the thing that you're doing. You know, it's not exponential how people think it is. They do it and they just leap fast. You know, some people do it depending on the type of person they are, the personality they have. They're able to like get things fast or whatever, figure it out. Like, but that's not how most people. Most people is just like gradual or slowly, like gradual. You know what I'm saying? So people, they just give up. You know what I'm saying? Especially on this path, like you're celibate or you're whatever. That's like the basic level. You're just keeping that sexual energy in. You know, people ain't gonna beat that because, you know, they're doing drugs or that, or they're just starting not to do it or sway away from it, just deviate from that, and that's just gonna catch up to them because reality is just gonna hit them, and they're gonna use that as a way to like fill that void, or to like fill up that spot that they don't want to like touch because it's painful, or the reality. So people are gonna deviate from that and they're gonna fall right back to the thing. Of course, you can people do it like in moderation, you know. You try to do stuff in moderation, but it really depends though. Like, I'm gonna do this 3 times and I'm gonna stop, or 5 times and I'm gonna just slowly stop. But when you do that, it can backfire because your brain, your neuronal pathways in your brain is gonna keep you hooked onto these things again, or something similar to that, to just get you back to to get you hooked again. And people try to do things in moderation or do that, and it's like they already don't even have discipline, so they're gonna fall short to their bad habits. You know, so they're not gonna last at all. And it's just people's just mentalities, I think too. Like, I don't really think it was worth it, because I've seen people who was so close to to just, making it or whatever, like just really transcending and just all of the above and becoming better. They just folded. They throughout these years, people just folded and they just given up on themselves. I'm not saying everybody just folded outrightly, but I started seeing throughout these years, people just started giving up on themselves and becoming defeated. You know what I'm saying? Because, reality and, you know, like it's just that people just, it's just the critics that they got, people in their ear, influences. It's just a lot of reasons why people will stop. You got to be relentless to kind of be on it. You kind of have to be like kind of crazy to just keep going. You gotta have to not care what people think, because we're gonna think you're crazy for doing what you got to do your best, going the extra mile, waking up early, eating that extra like carrot or whatever, like just stuff like that, like sleeping with your eye open just to like kind of be awake a little bit, to just be ready, because you're just people just don't have that optimism anymore. I guess when something just bad happens or whatever, they're just become hopeless. I guess with me, since the way I am, my personality, I kind of have that spark or whatever like that. You know, that drive there still to keep going, that optimism, that impression, that curiosity, that impression. People don't have that because they're just either too low or too just this, and it just backfires. And they kind of lose that spot or that innocence of them. So it's kind of hard. Plus they probably don't have discipline. That's why people don't really last on this path. We could say discipline, but I slipped up many times. Especially like people talk about semer and celibacy, all that. Man, I slipped up a lot of times on that. But it took me just doing that for me to become better. Meditating, I slipped up on that too, like just not doing it. Not doing it for a while, like stopping my sessions because I'm just noises, all this stuff. You know, stop posting content or whatever. Like I done all those stuff. I slipped up. The reason I'm so good because the feedback loop of just me doing it over and over again. Even if I fail or didn't fail or whatever, I just stopped. I just went back and done it. I just never gave it up. So my mind is only gonna do that. When it just compounds. I might not get greater effects because I've been slipping up, but it just plants in my mind that, oh shoot, I gotta do this thing because I done something huge or whatever, and I gotta finish that project. So I gotta keep going to that. Just keep doing it. Just keep digging up the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I've done. I just never stopped at all. I slipped up many times. I ain't perfect. Almost crashed out, like being mad and all that, and I just never stopped. I kept it with inside of me. Or I bent it somewhere else. I just didn't do that. I guess people are just not the same. They don't have that relentlessness to stop, that perseverance to persist. So they stop. They didn't want to go the extra mile. They it wasn't worth it. Because a lot of people tend to fall to the habit of being pessimistic. You know what I'm saying? So you already know it's a wrap from there. Because a lot of people, when they get into a situation, reality happens, when stuff don't go their way, they stop. They be like, you know what? Let me try to find another way to do it. Let me just think this way. Let me kind of analyze what I did wrong. Let me see what I done right. Let me see what I could have done better. Let me see the drawbacks. Let me see whatever. Let me see how I could twist this drawback to see if I could like manipulate to do something that could, grant me something or whatever. But people don't think like that. Because how the mind is. You know what I'm saying? And people fail and they just stop. Failure doesn't have to be bad. You know? You can learn. A lot of people have a learning curve because failure and just negative thoughts and the ego, so they don't stop. They don't convince themselves. They don't learn. They don't do that because the ego, the way our mind is just very just all over the place. Just so much things there. There's so much input output. There's so much stimuli because how we just been programming just the frequencies. So it's like it's gonna just affect people. But if you had that relentless in you, if you're just Iron Man, bro, like literally, like, of course, metaphorically speaking, like I just said, you're gonna keep going, but people don't have that in them because the way they brain is this surface level. Like it's not like deep. Like they don't want to like do that. Like they're just like whatever. I'm just trying to do, whatever I got to do. It's not like, oh, let me do whatever I got to do to do more and blah blah blah. And just it's just whatever. Like that's how people are. So they're gonna fall short. That's why I don't really see nobody on this. Like I slipped up many times, man. Many times. I never stopped. Now I'm way better before, because it just became a skill of me just, trying to make myself focus, do that. That always a skill was a multi-layered process of me trying to focus, do that, not think this way, or if I think this way, not let it affect me so much, try to like, stand back from it, let me breathe, let me just do that so I can just keep on going. Like it's just a multi-layered process of me doing. I know it may sound insanity, like you're doing a lot of things, but this is what I had to do to just keep going. And people just won't fight that. They rather just be basic, go to a job, smoke, and just lay down with no worries. It's just not worth the risk. They just want money, the material stuff, and it's okay. They probably have kids now. Like who knows? Like they're just not like that, man. They just not fight. They don't want it. They're just not hungry. The fight wasn't worth it to them, so they just giving up. They probably want it now, but it's like they're just not gonna fight. Something in them is just not gonna let it. It's just the way their mind is now. They probably wish they want the things or to do the things, but it's like they're just not gonna do it. It's just the bad habits and their mindset now. They kind of regret it, so they're just not. It's not like when they regret some things, they're just gonna just fix their mistake. A lot of people regret like a lot of things. Because I saw a video if this guy like he says he was 99 years old. He says like he was talking about his life regrets, like 100 regrets he had in his life. But it's like he waited to like almost to his like deathbed to like have regret. It's kind of really too late to like for him to like kind of change. So having those regrets is just not gonna make somebody just redeem themselves and change. It's just not gonna happen like that. They pretty much kind of accepted it. So that's why people like have given up on this path and doing what they gotta do. And people just like getting in their ear. That's why people just said, what, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. Or certain people told them this and that, and now it's like they're not gonna do it anymore. Like a lot of people are just not gonna do that. Probably like because when you're doing a lot of things in life, you're building yourself up. A lot of things, you're opening yourself to like attract a lot of like experiences, especially situations. So a lot of doors are gonna open and some are gonna close. This is how this reality is. And I guess like you don't want to get caught up with the distraction because a loss of the sauce, because something will be granted for you or something will just be in your way for you to like slip up or like stop. So certain guys they'll probably get a girl or whatever, or being around a certain friend, and next thing you know they don't come back, or they're just not the same, or they just stop talking to you because they're just not like that, man. They just wasn't hungry, they wasn't sure, so they're gonna fall short. So you got to be willing to make the sacrifice and the decision sometime on your journey to be like, you know what, I'm all into this, bro. It don't matter what's in the way, I'm all into this. And I guess certain things just came and took them along. Now they're back being the same religion. They kind of like rebelled against it. They were the same people that they kind of hate or whatever that was toxic. They're kind of around those people or whatever or similar. They just wasn't sure. They just wasn't. They're probably doing it because it looked cool, to look like they're doing something for virtue points or whatever. But it was just fake. You can't really be fake about it. You gotta try and try and try so you could really be it. It's not that you don't just be it and you just be it. You gotta just really be into this, and you gotta be kind of like hungry. Like, you gotta be more than your soul, like more than just a feeling. And people just are not gonna do that. It's just not gonna allow it. It's got to be something really psychologically, like to keep doing this, even though things are not going their way. You kind of have to be kind of like crazy or insane, you know, like to just continue this on what we do, like because people wouldn't consider this normal. Like, oh man, you continue to do things are not going your own way. You don't even have nothing in your fridge. You don't got no clothes, and you're still pushing forward for something, bro. Like, people could congratulate you for that, but in their back of the mind, like, bro, chill, bro. Go. Why don't you go sit down, bro? Why don't you go, like, eat some popcorn? Like, nah, bro, I gotta do more. In their back of the mind, they still congratulate you because you're doing a lot, but it's like they're not gonna do that. They're gonna be like, nah, chill out. They're gonna try to like kind of draw you back to square one, you know. But you have a goal, you have a plan, you got a mission. But people are just not like that. So they're gonna drag you down. They see what all this drive and energy, you know, on their conquest. They're just gonna try to drag you because they don't want to see that you're doing so much, that they could have got so much done, and they're just not gonna want to like fathom that. So that's why people did not last on this path. You probably went through many experiences of people saying stuff to you, trying to trigger you. Like, it's just crazy, bro. A lot of people just did not last, bro, and it's sad. People have given up. You see so much people complain about the economy and that, and it's just, the world is so much in despair right now. Like, literally, this world is sad right now. It's just crazy. People just have given up, and it sucks to see a loss so given up before they was just so close. But that's just how people are. That's why people didn't last.